Oh.
Get up.
What's the matter?
It's 8:30.
Huh? 8:30? Oh, honey, stop your playing. It's only 4:30.
But, John, the electric alarm clock has stopped.
Stopped?
Yes, it's really 8:30. Now you hurry and shave, and I'll go get breakfast.
Oh, all right. Oh, every time I go to bed, I have to get up again. Whoa! Oh, honey, that's cold. Oh. Honey. Honey? Honey? What's the matter with the heater? That water's all cold. It's so cold.
John, the range is out of order, and the percolator won't perk, and the toaster won't toast.
Well, why don't you telephone the company and find out what's the matter with that?
Oh, all right.
Oh.
Hello?
Oh.
John?
Well?
John, I can't raise a soul on the phone. And the radio's dead, and I'll miss my exercises.
Mary, come. Look what's happened to this city. Hey! Hey! What's happened to everything?
No one knows what's happened. There's no power or light. Everything's at a standstill. Mills, factories, stores, everything. They say that nothing can be done.
Gee, Mary, this is terrible. What are we going to do now? Oh, boy! Hooray, honey, everything works.
John, what are you acting so strange for? What are you looking at?
Oh, gee, honey, I had a terrible night. I dreamed everything electrical went dead. Oh, it was awful. Awful, I tell you. The lights wouldn't work. The alarm clock stopped at 4:30. The refrigerator, the icebox, the percolator, and the radio, and you couldn't take your exercises. Oh, Mary. Mary, honey, where's my hat?
Here it is, dear.
Oh, fine.
Now, John, pick up the car the minute it's ready, because if we leave on our vacation tomorrow, you'll have to hurry.
That's right. Oh, honey, we're going to have a marvelous time. Bye-bye, dear.
Goodbye, Henry. Bye.
streetcar gone by?
No.
Morning, John. Going downtown?
Good morning, Mr. Arnold. Thanks very much.
Come right along. How are you this morning?
Fine. How are you?
Great.
You know, Mr. Arnold, your being with the power company reminds me of a dream I had last night.
That sounds interesting. Tell it to me.
Well, I dreamed that the electric power and light went dead. Gee, it was a terrible mess. Could that happen?
Hardly a chance. I see that you have only a vague idea of what the electrical industry means to your community. If you got a little time, John, I'd like to have you come up in my office. I'll tell you a few details of the mighty workings of this great business. Less than a century ago, Stone, Washington was a great, vast wilderness, awaiting the magic touch of civilization. Here, the Indian was king of all he surveyed. Then one day came the white man, fighting his way westward. In a short span of years, great cities have grown from tiny settlements on the shores of Puget Sound. To trace one of the highlights in the development of a great raw territory, we must go back to 1898, when our first power plant was established at Snoqualmie Falls. This was a result of years of pioneering in one of the roughest countries man ever tried to conquer. Always anticipating the future, new plants were added as time went on. Electron, White River, Baker River, and many more. All of this took great energy and vast sums of money. The harnessing of a river for the manufacture of electrical energy is a mammoth undertaking. Halted in its mad rush to the sea, the water is diverged into the turbines of the powerhouse. The generated power is sent out over miles of transmission lines, while the pent-up water, released again, runs merrily on its way to the valleys below, there to perform other duties for mankind. In case of emergency, such as a dry season when the streams become low, we maintain several auxiliary steam plants so that we can guarantee current at all times. The power is carried to substations where it is stepped down. It is then sent out over secondary distribution lines where it reaches all types of users. One of the great problems of a new state is to secure industries to provide payroll and to use Washington products. Through the low rates which the company has been able to put into effect, remarkable progress has been made along this line, not only in the largest cities, but throughout the entire territory which we serve. Washington, with its abundance of cheap electric power, is rapidly becoming one of the industrial centers of the country. Logging is one of the major industries in Washington. Naturally, so much raw material available, the manufacture of paper for practically all uses is being carried on extensively. Here again, the simple throwing of a switch starts the raw wood pulp on its way through tons of heat-controlled compressors and rollers, where in a few moments the finished product emerges at the other end, later to be cut in any desired size or shape. All of our paper for newsprint is of local origin, which finds its way to our streets and homes within a short space of time after the news of the world is received over the wires.
Read all about it. Get your extra.
When the Great Northern Railroad started to build its 8-mile tunnel through the heart of the Cascade Mountains, we were able to show them that on account of our vast interconnecting system, it was safer and cheaper to use electricity generated by us than to try to furnish electricity to themselves from their own water power holdings. Our company furnished the driving power during construction and now electrifies the line. We also furnish power to the Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul Railroad. Realizing many years ago that Western Washington would one day be one of the richest farming communities on the globe, we asked ourselves this question: if the extensive use of electric power cuts down the cost of industrial production and pays higher wages to laborers, why couldn't the farmer use more machinery and electricity and enable him to cut down his production costs? We started with this idea in mind, and as a result, we believe that our company was not only the original pioneer in rural electrification, but that we have gone further in the perfection of appliances for rural use and further in the actual demonstration work than any other electric light and power company in the United States. Today, there are more than 10,000 poultry farms with an annual output of more than $30 million in Western Washington, most of which have been electrified by the Puget Sound Power and Light Company. Modern electric incubators get a higher percentage of hatch and stronger chicks because of perfect heat regulation, and does it with much less labor and worry to the poultryman. In brooding, proper electric equipment is also the means of doing away with a tremendous amount of work and trouble. With electric lights, electric warmed water, and electric brooders, the chicks nearly take care of themselves. Electric lights in the laying house are turned on at 3 in the morning. This gives the hens a 13-hour day instead of an 8 or 10-hour day, and causes an increase of 30% more eggs without any increase of labor to the poultryman. An electric warmer in the trough keeps the water at an even temperature day and night. Electricity has also been a boon to the dairyman. It cuts down his cost of operation and ensures a better product. It has been found that the use of the radio at the time of milking causes the cows to relax, to be less restless, and to give more milk. milking machine cuts the manual labor of milking in half. Imagine the time it would require to wash these bottles by hand. An electric motor will do as much for 1 or 2 cents as a man can do in an hour by hand. Without an electric motor, a farmer would be working for 1 cent an hour. Practical and economical irrigation of farmlands is now possible by the use of electric pumping plants. A non-irrigated field produces only a fair crop, while on the adjoining field, an increase of 75% is the result of irrigation. The farmer's insurance against crop failure. 1/3 of the apple and pear crop of the nation is credited to the state of Washington. Without irrigation, this great production of wealth would be impossible in central Washington. The orchards of the rich Wenatchee Valley are furnished with our power and light in all the stages of production.
Oh, yes. About our new Rock Island project on the Columbia River, near Wenatchee. That's a huge undertaking, and it'll mean so much for this country. You know, John, we've got everything to attract people to this country. There are vast areas of land waiting to be cultivated. Great industrial sites. Why, there's room for everybody. There's room for millions. And John, the people are coming. We were looking forward to that when we planned the Rock Island project. And when they arrive here, they'll find us ready and willing to assist them at all times. And it has always been the desire of this company to make the grand old state of Washington a better place in which to work and live.